Thank you for joining me today. I'm very excited to present to Plan B Entertainment the screenplay that is based on my life. This story investigates the duplicitous experiences that I've come to appreciate through a fairly rough upbringing. The opportunity to express a lot of the hardships that I've had growing up with a father who is addicted to methamphetamines shows that beauty can unfold from darkness when channeled through a creative medium. The screenplay is a very short depiction of my life, focusing on real events of my early childhood and the seemingly ridiculous mental, physical, and emotional abuse that I endured. Still, this is not a sad story as I sit here before you. It should become clear that the story did not actually destroy me, but has driven me to rise. Just like the screenplay will read, my life is not over, nor can I promise that it has a happy ending, but I do believe that it is moving, novel, courageous, and a bit dark. The film takes place in present day because I wanted the audience to feel aware of life as it happens today and not to compartmentalize the story as a past event that has lost relevance. The protagonist is in her mid-teens because those are the days that I have the most memory of conflict and, in effect, internal reflection. It also was a time in my life that allowed me to question what was going on in my household and eventually allowed me to lead my family away from my father. At that point, he was pretty heavy into his addiction, and his aggression was getting worse. And in this story, you'll see that through the challenges that Charlie, the main character, has to face. I provided a fictional name for Charlie because it helped me write about the character from a more objective perspective rather than a limiting, subjective, and ultimately narrow frame of view. While the main character does have a significant role in the story, the screenplay is meant to endear itself to its audience through Charlie's interactions with her family and hopefully gain respect through her experiences. From the first act, the audience witnesses the sad and incredibly abusive world that the protagonist lives in. I've written the script as true to my memory as possible. The other main characters, like my mother, my father, and my siblings, remain true to the nature of of who they are and their characters as people, real life people. Um, the only fictional character that I decided to introduce into the film is the storekeeper Allegro, who develops a protective and somewhat fatherly relationship to Charlie. I felt compelled to include Allegro as an amalgamation of different people in my life and in my family's life who have helped me and who have helped us, and without them, I don't feel like I could be here today. There isn't really one defining challenge in the screenplay, but rather several that plague the protagonist and her loss of innocence. Similarly to popular films that portray female heroines, like Jennifer Lawrence in The Hunger Games, the protagonist is called to action by the challenge of an unjust life. Female heroines, I think, are really it right now because I believe that they are empowering to a generation that supports the female underdog. This story has all those elements and the motivation of a true story to stand behind. Winter's Bone, another Jennifer Lawrence film, is a bit closer to the genre and tone of my screenplay because it is less about the winning outcome that an audience comes to expect from a fictional film. Again, this is not a fictional story, so the truth at the end of it all, is that life goes on, and we're all just here to witness as much of life as we can possibly take. On that note, I do believe that you will find my screenplay to be very relevant to the type of films your company has produced. The Tree of Life and Running with Scissors has an independent component that are driven by investigating the stories of their characters and their relationships rather than pushing for an outcome, conclusion, or a happy ending. Fish Soup and Rice is the title that I chose because while it is ambiguous to the content of the story, there are certain cultural and visceral conclusions one might make or have from hearing that title. And in that vein, I hope my film will induce the same reaction. Thank you.